Good morning. Next article is analytic function. Just 1 minute. Analytic function. Let us see what is meaning of this analytic function. Let us consider a function f of z. The function f of z is function of complex variables. Function f of z is said to be analytic function if it is differentiable at the point z. Function f of z, which is function of complex variable z, is said to be analytic function at the point z0 if the function f of z is differentiable not only at point z0 but also at every point in some neighborhood of the point z0. F of z is said to be analytic function at point z0 if f of z is differentiable not only at point z0 but also at every point in some neighborhood of the point z0. Then we can call function f of z as analytic function at point z0. The function f of z is analytic in a domain, a region providing a region specifying complex numbers, complex variables. A function f of z is analytic in a domain if it is analytic at every point of the domain. We can call a function f of z is analytic in a domain if the function f of z is analytic at all the points of this domain. If function f of z is differentiated and differentiation of function f of z comes 0 at a certain point, the point where differentiation of f of 0 comes 0, differentiation of f of z comes 0, that point is known as singular point of the function f of z. Let me repeat the things. F of z is function of complex variable. Z is complex variable. The function f of z of complex variable is said to be analytic at a point z0 if f of z is differentiable not only at point z0 but at all points in some neighborhood of the point z0. The function f of z is said to be analytic in a domain if It is analytic at every point of the domain. If differentiation of the function f of z comes 0 at certain point, that point is known as singular point of the function f of z. The analytic function f of z is also known as holomorphic function. Holomorphic, regular, monogenic. The analytic function f of z is also known as holomorphic function, regular and monogenic function. What is meaning of this holomorphic function? Meaning of holomorphic function is function f of z is a function of more than one complex variables, and it is differentiable at every point of the complex plane. If it is true, then the analytic function is known as holomorphic function. Regular and monogenic function. Wherever the analytic function is function of a single complex variable and its value of differentiation at a points, its value of differentiation at a point comes to be unique value, then that analytic function is also known as a regular and monogenic function. So these are the names used for analytic function under different conditions, and I told under what conditions the analytic function is known as holomorphic function, a regular and monogenic function. The other name used for analytic function may be entire function. The other name used for the analytic function may be entire function. What is meaning of entire function? Entire function is a function of many complex variables, and it is differentiable and continuous at every point of the given complex plane, every point at the given domain. Then such a function is known as entire function. All functions may not be entire functions. Polynomial rational functions. Polynomial rational functions are generally entire functions. But the functions of this type are not polynomial rational functions, because this is a differentiable only at z is equal to 0. It means that this function is analytic only at a single point z is equal to 0. Therefore, such functions will not be entire functions. Entire functions must be functions of polynomial rational type, which may be function of more than one complex variables, and they can be differentiated at all points of the domain under consideration. Such a function, such analytic function is known as entire function. Few things you must remember about the analytic function. These things are: entire function may be analytic differentiable and continuous. Entire function may be analytic, differentiable and continuous. You can simply write entire function is analytic, differentiable and continuous function. Converse is not true. Converse is not true, meaning that a continuous function may not be always entire function. A differentiable function may not be always entire function. An analytic function may not be always entire function. But an entire function is always analytic, differentiable and continuous function. Converse is not true. This thing is to be remembered about the entire function. The second thing that you must remember is an analytic function and analytic function may be differentiable and continuous, but the converse is not true. An analytic function may be differentiable and continuous. An analytic function is differentiable and continuous, but the converse is not true. It means that a continuous function is not always analytic. A differentiable function is not always analytic. The third thing that we must remember about the analytic functions is a differentiable function is continuous function. Differentiable function is continuous function. Converse is not true. Differentiable function is a continuous function, but the converse may not be true. A continuous function may or may not be a differential function. Okay, so we have to remember these things about the analytic function. This is about the analytic function. After having known what is analytic function, the next thing we have to know about analytic function is necessary conditions for an analytic function. What should be the necessary conditions so that the given function will be analytic function? Necessary conditions. For analytic functions. Necessary conditions for analytic functions. And the theorem is if f of z is equal to w is equal to u plus iv, if f of z is equal to w is equal to u plus iv is an analytic function where u is function of x and y, v is also a function of x and y. What is the theorem? If f of z is analytic function, f of z may be w, which is given by u plus iv, where u is function of x and y, v is function of x and y. Then, for this function to be analytic, dou u by dou x should be equal to dou v by dou y, and dou v dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x. For the function f of z, which is analytic function, the necessary condition is u is function of x and y, v is also function of x and y, then dou u by dou x should be equal to dou v by dou y, and dou u by dou y should be equal to minus dou v by dou x, provided that dou u by dou x, dou u by dou y, dou v by dou x, dou v by dou y, all should be continuous. They should exist in the given domain. If f of z is given analytic function, which is equal to u plus iv, u is function of x and y, v is also function of x and y, then for this function to be analytic, we must have dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y, and dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x, provided that all these partial differentials should exist in the given domain. These conditions are known as Cauchy-Riemann conditions or only CR conditions. The necessary conditions for a function to be analytic are these, where these partial differentials should continuous, they should exist in the given domain. These necessary conditions for a function to be analytic, these conditions are known as Cauchy-Riemann conditions or only CR conditions. Let us try to verify these necessary conditions. To verify these necessary conditions, so we shall start with this equation. F of z is equal to u plus iv. Proof. F of z is equal to u plus iv. F of z plus delta z is equal to u plus iv plus dou u plus I dou v. Or you may write this as u plus iv plus delta u plus I delta v. Doesn't matter, take dou u. Then limit delta z tends to 0, f of z plus delta z minus f of z divided by delta z should be f dash of z, and this is u plus iv plus du plus I dou u plus I dou v minus u minus I v divided by dou z minus u plus I v minus I v get cancelled, and we simply got f dash of z is equal to dou u by dou z plus I dou v by dou z equation होगा. So differentiation of the analytic function f of z is given by dou u by dou z plus I dou v by dou z equation number. What we are interested in getting the CR conditions, which are necessary conditions for an analytic function. To get these CR conditions which are necessary for the analytic function, let us first consider the real axis. Let us first consider the real axis. What is real axis? X axis is a real axis. And what is the specific property of x-axis? Y-axis, x-axis. Y-axis is imaginary axis. X-axis is a real axis. Let us first consider the real axis. Let us first consider the real axis. Real axis is x-axis. Real axis is x-axis. When we move along x-axis, what will happen? Which coordinate will change? When we move along x-axis, distance from y-axis will change. That is, only y coordinate will change. What is x coordinate? Distance from x-axis. Perpendicular distance from x-axis is x coordinate. What is y coordinate? Perpendicular distance from y-axis is y coordinate. So only y will change along x-axis. X will not change along x-axis. It means that dou x is 0 and we will have only dou y, or this delta z is equal to x plus iy delta z along real axis is 0 plus I delta y. Delta z along real axis is 0 plus I delta y. So we will replace delta z by delta y. Let us put these values here. So it will be limit delta z tends to 0 delta u by delta z plus I delta v by delta z along real axis. This will be limit delta z tends to 0 delta u divided by I delta y plus I delta v divided by I delta y. This is nothing but dou u by dou y plus I dou v by dou y, and from the denominator I is taken common. If this I is taken in the numerator, it will become minus I. So that will be minus I dou u by dou y minus I into minus I minus I square dou v by dou y. I square is minus 1, minus I square is plus 1, and therefore we will simply have this f dash of z along the real axis as I dou u by dou y plus dou v by dou y, equation number 2. Let us do the same thing about the imaginary axis. What procedure we adopted to get f dash of z along real axis? Let us use the same procedure to get the value of f dash of z along y axis, along imaginary axis. What will be true along imaginary axis? Delta x will be real and we will have dou f is equal to 0, that is z is equal to x plus iy will be equal to delta x plus 0. And if we apply this to equation 1 can now be written as that is what f dash of x is equal to limit delta z tends to 0 delta u by delta z plus I delta g divided by delta z. This is nothing but limit delta z tends to 0 delta u by delta x plus I delta v by delta x, that is nothing but dou u by dou x plus I dou v by dou x, that is f dash of z along the imaginary axis is dou u by dou x plus I dou v by dou x, equation number 2. If function f of z is analytic, its differentiation along any path will not change, it will be same. It means that f dash of z in equation 2 and f dash of z in equation 3 should be same. So LHS of equations 2 and 3 are same. As LHS of equations 2 and 3 are same, RHS should be same. And therefore, let us equate real part on RHS of equations 2 and 3 and then compare or equate imaginary parts on RHS of equations 2 and 3. This is real part, this is real part, and therefore we should have this as dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y. Equation number 4. Then compare the imaginary parts. What are the imaginary parts? I dou u by dou y is equal to I dou v by dou x. This is minus when when this I is taken from denominator to numerator, it will become minus. Okay, so minus dou u by, this will be minus I dou u by dou y. I will get cancelled, transfer this minus sign to this side, and you will have dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x, equation number 5. In the earlier case, along the real axis, here we were having I delta y. This I is taken up. It will become minus. I forgot it to write here minus. Minus I into I, minus I square plus. Here I have taken plus. So that minus. So I get cancelled, this minus transfer to this side. See equations 4 and 5. Dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y. Dou u by dou y is equal to minus dou v by dou x. These are the CR conditions. Just now I have written the CR conditions, Cauchy-Riemann conditions, which are the necessary conditions for a function to be analytic. So we have proved that equation 4 and 5, these are the CR conditions or Cauchy-Riemann conditions, and these are necessary conditions for a function to be analytic. This is about the analytic function and necessary conditions for a function to be analytic function. Some more part is left from this article that we shall deal in the next lecture. Hope you got it. Thank you.